Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at what should be one of the most exciting advancements in motion sensor technology, the introduction of battery-powered millimeter motion sensors. Finally, we get all the advantages of mmWave with the convenience of battery power, meaning that you can now place your super accurate mmWave sensor anywhere and not have to worry about running power through those unsightly cables to the device. Well, that's the theory, but how does the hype live up to reality? Let's find out. Spoiler, you are going to be a little disappointed. In the box, you get the R1, the included 3 AA batteries and the user manual. At first glance, it looks like your standard motion sensor, but maybe a little larger than most, measuring in at 2.56 inches square by 1.18 inches deep, and weighing in at 4.8 ounces. We'll be comparing it to the Meross MSS 600 and the Sonoff SN Zigbee 06P, both millimeter microwave motion sensors, but both need to be powered by USB-C, and that means those unsightly wires. The R1 is 50% bigger than the Meross and nearly double the size of the Sonoff, and both of those come with variable mounting options, and not just desk mounting unlike the R1. On the front is an icon for the motion sensor and LEDs that signify the sensitivity of the device when set, or illuminate when motion is detected. On top of the R1 are 2 buttons, whose primary purpose is to adjust the sensitivity of the device, which is displayed on the front through those LEDs, with a secondary use of toggling the LED displays or resetting the device. To the rear is an opening for the battery compartment, which contains the 3 AA batteries, of which Amazon Basics are provided, that will give you a claimed 3 years of usage, which is excellent considering this is mmWave technology and easily on par with the much less power demanding PIR motion sensors, hence the need for those larger batteries. Above the battery compartment are 2 keyhole shape hanging mounts. There are no other mounting options provided, such as a wall mount or a direction mount. The R1 communication protocol is Zigbee 3.0. This gives you great reliability, range, and compatibility, meaning you can connect easily to Home Assistant or Amazon Alexa. However, if you're looking to connect to Google Home or Apple HomeKit, then this is not supported out of the box, although there are ways you can achieve this. To make up for this, Third Reality offer you native connectivity to Habitat, Homey, and SmartThings. Unlike traditional PIR motion sensors that rely on heat signatures, the R1 uses millimeter wave radar that works at 5.8 GHz. This means it can detect presence even when you're perfectly still. Well, that's the theory, but we'll be testing that out. To make this super sensitivity to motion usable, the R1 allows on-device adjustment of the sensitivity. So using the buttons on top, you can adjust the sensitivity from 1.5 meters to the maximum 10 meters, which is very impressive if true. We'll be testing that out also. Now, as we mentioned, there are currently no other battery-powered mmWave motion sensors on the market. So we'll be comparing against the Meross MSS 600 and Sonoff SN Zigbee 06P. First, let's look at the entities exposed. The R1 is connected via Zigbee using ZHA through the Third Reality integration. The Meross is connected through the Meross application and then using the Meross LAN integration. Check out the Meross LAN integration video in the pop-up above. And the Sonoff is connected to the iwi Link application and then to the Sonoff Ultra Bridge, and then through to the Sonoff integration. Check out that video to the 06P in the video above. The R1 just shows the motion detection entity and doesn't have any adjustment zones or any other associated sensors. The Meross is the opposite end of the sensor range, having zones, distance, lux levels, last detection, plus more. Along with this, it combines a PIR with a microwave motion sensor, and with a powerful algorithm to offer next level of occupancy detection. Check out my video on the MSS 600 in the pop-up above. The last sensor is the Sonoff. Here you get the motion detection from the single microwave motion sensor and an illuminance level, but you don't get an integrated PIR motion sensor, so no complex algorithm. Testing the range, I slowly walked towards the sensors to see which one would trigger first, As expected, the Meross triggered at approximately 11 meters, while the R1 was close behind at 9 meters. The Sonoff with its shorter range didn't trigger until 4 meters, so all sensors lived up to their claimed range. For my final test, I stood 5 meters away from the sensor and let it cool down. Then I scratched my nose. I expected this to be detected, but the R1 still reported clear. In fact, I had to wave my arms around before the sensor would recognize movement, and this was on maximum sensitivity, not what I would have expected from a millimeter microwave sensor. So the third reality R1 millimeter microwave sensor, what do I think? Well, first off, this is the first battery-powered millimeter microwave sensor on the market, so hats off to Third Reality for achieving what the others couldn't. On the pros, you get the fact that it's battery-powered, so no unsightly cables. It's quick to trigger and has a short cooldown period. It lasts for 3 years on its 3 AA batteries and has above average range. Also works with Home Assistant straight out of the box. On the cons, the device is considerably larger than other microwave sensors. Compatibility is limited to Home Assistant, Alexa, SmartThings, Habitat, and Homey straight out of the box. If you want Google Home and HomeKit, then you'll need to invest in the Third Reality Smart Bridge MZ1, which is sold separately. As to sensitivity, it's not great. Even on maximum sensitivity, the Meross was definitely a step above the R1. And finally, the R1 comes with no mounting options, so it's desk or wall mounted with no directional mounting at all. So would I recommend it? Yes, but only in spaces where you have no socket and you need to run the R1's killer feature with no wires. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then hit that like button, comment and share. And if you want to have access to similar material, then subscribe or maybe become a channel member and get early access to material plus other perks. And if you want to join other like-minded people, then why not join the Discord channel where smart home enthusiasts meet to solve each other's issues. And if I've helped you make a purchasing decision, then maybe a super thanks or a PayPal donation. It's really appreciated. Until the next one.